call this meeting to order. Do we have any citizens communication to share on behalf of someone?
No?
Okay. Then, did everyone have a chance to look over the minutes from last month's meeting? Were there any questions? And if not, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I motion to approve.
And a second?
A second.
Minutes approved. And that would move us to the library director report.
Okay, first off, before I forget, Dawn is going to have to be absent for possibly 3 meetings, but for sure 2.
Yeah.
Due to work obligations. So I don't have it on the agenda, but next month I can put it on the agenda because now you'll need to vote yay or nay on that.
Please don't vote me off the island.
So that'll be coming next month. So the director's report, it looks good. Our numbers again are climbing, so as you can see, our circulation's up. In physical, it's down some. In electronic, not surprising again. Electronic generally dips a little in the summertime, also just because people aren't in school using the electronic databases, but also because during COVID they were using them more. But they're still using them, so that's great. Our in-house computer use is actually up, which I'm surprised about. This summer, just walking through the library, I see every part of the library being used, and I love that. And I haven't seen that since before COVID. So we're excited about that. I will have the end of year totals in October for the October meeting, but just preliminary, I think we're probably up a couple of thousand library cards this year. So that's huge. People are coming back. I'm very happy to have them.
Jennifer, real quick, I just made the computer use made me think of it. Have you noticed, like, do you think there's an uptick of computer usage here and people coming in just because it's so hot and this is a cool place for them to spend the day?
I do think that some of them are coming in to use it as a cooling center and then discovering what we have, which I also love, and using the computers. But that's a good point. It could be that we're seeing more of that because people are coming in. Definitely see people on their own devices throughout the library. A couple of people fall asleep in chairs. We don't care. We're good with that. It happens. But yeah, we're happy to provide whatever service the community needs. So our summer reading program ended, and our program librarians are taking a breather between now and September, which is LibCon. If anybody is interested in volunteering at LibCon, there's a variety of things that you could volunteer for. And I sent out an email about it, but you'll need to contact Carmen Lazo, and it's just carmenl@pflugervilletx.gov. Or you could just contact me, and I'll pass it along to her if you want to volunteer. So we wrapped up the summer reading program again with the Pay It Forward event, which is one of my favorite events. It was started several years ago by our then youth librarian. And it is an opportunity for the community to come and learn about different charitable organizations, but also do activities and crafts that will benefit somebody else in Pflugerville. So they do things like make animal toys or cards maybe for the care homes and that sort of thing. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to not only celebrate the achievement of the winning team and everybody who participated, but also sort of give people that outlet where they can do for others. And that is all I have for the director's report.
Up next is Tiara with our marketing and outreach update.
Hi. Okay, so July was busy because it was the second half of the summer reading program. I didn't do so much outreach as I did in-house things. I took a lot of pictures of events. I attended a lot of events, and I did some social media things. Y'all might have seen the tattoo recommendation thing. That was a huge hit, and we were very pleased with the response we had. I want to say like 75 to 100 tattoos submitted, and people seem to really love it. So I'm definitely glad we're definitely going to do it again next year. And then once we switched over to August, like the day August 1st, like we were out doing outreach because it's back to school season, and those have been pretty well populated. The one we did on August 1st, we actually saw 700 people, and we gave out a lot of information. We also were giving out free books. And then we were able to get a few people signed up for cards. I believe it was 5 new cards and 2 renewals for a total of 7. The next day I went to the wellness fair, which is a city employee event, and I got, I think, about 15 people signed up for cards then. And then I went to a Pflugerville ISD event on that Friday, and then I got 30 people signed up for cards. So lots of people signing up for cards, which is great. I think people are thinking about it more now that it's back to school season. But yeah, I think things have been going well on my end. I'm using this time to sort of not only do back to school things, but also maybe catch up on things that I didn't really have time for during the summer. So yeah, that's my update.
Okay. And I love that our people go to traditional outreach events, but also they go to non-traditional outreach events like area cons or festivals where they run into a lot of people from Pflugerville, actually, and they're able to promote the library to a whole different crowd of people. And particularly those events that attract people in their 20s and 30s who are notoriously not big library users until they have kids, and then they're here. So we're trying to get those folks also. All right.
Up next is the Friends of the Pflugerville Library report.
Okay, so the Friends are continuing to support the library. They just donated funds to support some of the people that are coming to our Library Con, which is in September again, September 23rd. It is our biggest event, so they help out with that tremendously, not just in monetary donations, but they also donate their time to come for that, so that's exciting. They will have an August book sale. They're receiving so many donations that we've already scheduled out through next year when their sales will be, and that's about every 3 months. It's not perfectly quartered, but it really just depended on when we had the available space and we didn't have something already going on in there. So they're doing that. They also are going to increase their online presence. They have a group now that of younger people who are volunteering for the Friends that are very tech savvy, and they have very flexible work schedules, so they've been helping out a lot with that. So we'll be seeing a website from them and some other enhancements. And that's all I have.
Oh, and with LibCon, we do have a new fancy website for it, separate
that's
from
true.
the library website that the communications department for the city put together. So if you want to check it out, it's pretty nice.
Is it libcon.com or?
If you search just LibCon, I don't know the
I think it's
URL.
libraryconvention.com. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt, but
You should be able to find it pretty easy. And Matt, you're on there, so.
Say it again?
You're on there, you're on the site with the picture, because Matt's taking part in it.
I'm not sure if that's a big draw.
That takes us to the update on our art installation.
Okay, so we don't have any photo updates yet. The design has been submitted to Austin Waterjet, and they're gonna start cutting those designs out the second or third week of this month. So that's coming along. As soon as those pieces have been cut, they'll send images and we'll pass them on to the board. And they said they're a little behind because there's so much demand for that cutting service. I expect there's not a ton of water cutting places, and they probably get pretty booked. We are looking at the possibility of also installing a piece in the, you know, when you come into the Horseshoe Drive and there's that little dead patch of grass there. So we're discussing that, and you guys will be asked to participate in that, much like you did the other piece that's going to be hopefully soon out there.
Will that be under the similar circumstances, it's a city work, or would that come from the libraries?
It would come from the city's art budget, I believe. And that's all I have on that. It looks like a big agenda, but
And so now, discuss and consider action on part 1 and 2 of the 5-year plan.
I included the 5-year plan in your packets and the Aspire 2040, which is sort of the guide that we go by. If you look at the goals, I think it's further in, you'll see that the goals, and I'm lying to you completely. No, I'm not. Okay, you'll see that the goals, like, for example, Goal 1 facility, it'll have the corresponding Aspire 2040 goal numbered there. So you can cross-reference back and forth. However, going back to the beginning of this, so the committee met online. We did a Teams meeting, and we went over the introduction, so we obviously need to update that and take out, all the stuff we had about the pandemic, et cetera, because we are moving beyond that. Everything in red is what we've added, and I included the notes down the side of what I took out during our meetings. So we did add some language about the Freedom to Read statement in the Library Bill of Rights. Fun fact, I'm on the committee to not rewrite, but to amend, thank you, the Freedom to Read statement for the American Library Association. So,
Congratulations.
thank you. I'm excited about it. That's the committee and the project I wanted to work on, and I got it. So, we're revising it, I should say, updating it. I don't think it's been updated since the 50s, so could be longer. All right, I'll give you guys a chance to look over the introduction.
I love how the changes are in the right-hand bracket this year. Like, I don't think we had that previously.
Oh, good.
I appreciate that.
No problem. Obviously, I don't have the data yet to put in there, but I will have that in October. So do we have any changes or amendments or additions to the introduction?
I love that you always keep the Oxford comments.
I think that somebody corrected me on that.
There's one missing on, if we're doing Oxford commas.
I'm sorry?
There's one missing on page 7?
Page,
Oh, we were doing the introduction.
Oh, sorry. Thought we were on the topic of Oxford comments.
One thing that I would suggest is that, while we go over each section, that you vote on it at the end as a complete document rather than just each section. For a couple of reasons, that gives us a chance that if you think of something after the meeting when you get home and you want to bring it up at the next meeting, we can do that, and it's a little bit easier and cleaner.
I vote for the acceptance of the introduction, page 4, basically, as it is.
All right, y'all don't have to actually vote on it yet. You can vote on the whole document at the end.
Well, you just ask for different sections.
I'm sorry, I wasn't clear.
Oh.
Okay. So moving on to the year in review. So I think that we did well in meeting our goals for facility. We definitely worked with the city on public art. We repurposed the Thornton Room to be staff space. We added additional shelving, and we're continuing to add additional shelving because I've got tons of shelves right now, and more coming. So we are expanding our shelf space, and we're trying really hard not to take up too much of the public space doing that. So we're getting more creative with our ideas about collection, display, and storage. So we will have some wall-mounted shelves in the back of the library, and we now, in what used to be the tech bar, we have wall-mounted shelves all the way through there for our adult graphic novel and manga section. We have also added a few shelves to the teen area, although I bought the wrong shelf ends, so I need to buy, I can use those elsewhere, but I need to buy proper shelf ends for those units. It's just an aesthetic thing, but it irritates me whenever I look at them, so it has to be fixed.
Letter E right there.
Which one? Oh, right here. Okay, great, thanks.
Oh yeah, I've got one question.
Uh-huh.
On page 5, on the third graph on the bottom, the 2022 stats are in black instead of light blue. Is there any significance to that, or just?
No, those are last year's stats. I mean, all of these charts need to be redone because I don't have all the data yet. But no, you're right, I should be consistent. I will change that.
I was just wondering if there was something dark happening in the light blue.
I really hated that year. No. I might have hated that year. It was 2020, so it wasn't a good year for anybody. Okay,
So-
yeah, go ahead.
Just, sorry to be an editor about it, but after the goals, some of them are two hyphens and some of them are end dashes.
Okay,
And then some sentences end in periods and some don't.
I am notorious for
I am
that.
so glad that she's here when I'm on my way out. This is awesome.
I'm getting distracted.
The missing Oxford comma on goal 3 is between impact Texas, comma, and more. At the end of goal 4, outreach and marketing really shouldn't be capitalized.
Okay,
The second dot in goal 2 should have E after researched.
Got that one. So 2020, okay, so this is a review, so
Mhm.
it would be, where would it go? They collaborated, continued, you didn't continue the
Okay.
EDs, you know what I'm saying? Researched, the next one down,
okay.
yeah. Label. Addressed. Next one, almost next.
Have we heard anything on the RFID or how that's coming lately?
Oh, yeah, we are up to our eyeballs in RFID right now.
So we got all the stuff for it?
We have all the stuff for the first phase, which we're wrapping up, should be through the first phase, around the first of the fiscal year, which is what we had planned, and then we'll go into phase 2, which will require some more equipment. But all the hard intensive labeling, is moving along smoothly. I don't want to say that we're almost done, but we're getting there.
Are you encountering any unforeseen problems that we didn't anticipate, or everything's going smooth?
Everything's going great.
It's great.
My staff might not make it through all of it, but they've been wonderful about it, but it is a lot.
Utilized, 3, part 1, utilized, second sentence.
Got it? Be brutal, because I have very thick skin, so please point out my mistakes.
I'm so happy she's nailing those things that I beat up for all those years, so. I've got an Oxford comma, periods on tables person.
Did we already mention the third dot on goal 3, where it says research
Yeah.
and was?
To semi counter
You
her
just said
thing
that
about outreach and marketing not being capitalized, in several cases, they're calling the title of that position is marketing and outreach. So if that's the title, it can be capitalized.
Well, but then it's
Ex-
a person. So it's like
Yeah, the
not
one she was
describing-
talking about was down in goal 4.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is that you refer to it as marketing and outreach as a title here above, but then you switch to outreach and marketing, you flip it. And in that case, you either have to write it as a title again or, but at least flip it.
Okay. I'll add. I'll make it a title. All right.
Yeah, you go back and forth. Here's, you do the O and M that way.
Yeah,
and then
I'm
you
really
did the
bad
M
about
and
that.
O.
I'll do it with library too. For some reason,
Yeah,
I
there's
think
the
library
hired.
should be capitalized at all times.
Yes.
Um,
It seems like,
Unless you're
you
generally
because you
discussing, like,
hired them
library
here,
system.
but you utilized them there. So that's just a little weird to me. Or maybe move the utilized thing to the end of the hired one. Goal 3, yeah.
Right
See,
here,
yeah,
yeah.
you utilize them there, but you don't hire them until later.
Okay, I'll move that around.
And then you can put utilize with this one, and then it would make sense.
Okay. I got it.
On goal 5, kept, it looks like you tried to change the tense but didn't delete the P. And then add the third dot on goal 5. So it says keep
I like it,
photographs. But then before, the previous sentence says reviewed. And so I just don't know if the tense shift is intentional.
I'm sorry, what was the next one?
Does B Braille, is that like the correct spelling? I just might be showing my ignorance. If,
I think Braille is capitalized, but I will double check.
oh, is there a B in front of it?
No, you have B-Bale instead of Braille,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
but Braille is capitalized because it's the last person's last name.
Oh, I have one. I don't know if somebody said this already, but you put a PF in front of Texas Book Festival.
Well, they should all have PFs.
Obviously.
You blamed it.
You just fixed it, is all you did.
Which one was it?
Right
Okay,
there.
I got it.
Back to
Under
goal,
goal 3, sorry.
yeah, on goal 3 in bullet 2, did we already write out PCDC
Oh,
somewhere
yeah.
else? Or should we write that out?
I don't think I did. And maybe, do I need to write out IT department or just leave it as IT? That's so me.
I think that's common.
Yeah, I think that one's
is
common enough.
Assumed at this point.
And then goal 5, the second dot has a couple of, the professional staff have taken. And then American Library Association Intellectual Freedom Roundtable.
I also caught myself up here. We purchased an after-hours book locker, not a lock.
Oh.
Yeah, it's coming too. We're just finalizing the design.
On goal 3, bullet 6, Juneteenth is missing an E. It's June 10th instead of Juneteenth.
Oh. Goal 3, I'm sorry,
Yeah, it's like the 6th
oh,
bullet
6, okay,
after Austin Comic Con.
I got it.
Okay.
Would these be hyphenated? They just kind of scream hyphens to me. I don't know.
Would what be hyphenated?
The budget per format versus circulation per format. It's on goal 6, second to last bullet.
And would this one be present tense? If the rest are past?
I'd say yes to hyphens.
Yeah.
On Goal 3, sorry, I'm stuck there. The last bullet of goal 3. Since they're publications, should they be italicized instead of
Yeah.
just capitalized?
Goal 7, first point, figure out where you want commas, because I can't tell you where you want them. It's area directors, and then you have state and national organizations, is that one thing, and then it's a comma? If that's the case, then you just and again? Do you see what I'm saying? I can't tell.
I erred on the side of no comma there because it
Right.
seems like area directors is describing of, you know, the state and national organizations.
So it's area directors and state and national organizations, correct?
Mhm.
Right, yeah.
Also, the second bullet on goal 7,
Yeah, the professional, we don't need a capital P.
and,
Taken.
Tanked, yeah, just making stuff up now.
I don't know that this is incorrect, I'm just curious, in goal 4, the first bullet says, by monitoring requests, is that like time off requests, or requests of what?
Goal 4,
The very first bullet?
oh, yeah, it's not clear.
And I think you might not need a comma after it, depending on
Yeah.
Okay.
that one, because it's,
Goal 7, oh, sorry.
No, I'm good.
Goal 7, the center one, you don't need to end it in period. I think at this point, we've almost made so many changes that a revised view might be in order.
Yeah, I will definitely make the changes and bring it
No,
back.
no, no, I know that, but I'm saying before we just keep, you know.
Also on goal 5, the second sentence after Braille keyboards and software for the blind.
Yeah, I did it.
Okay.
I've been pinging.
Thank you.
Okay. So what I'll do next is I will go through and make these changes and send it out in an email to you guys, but no commenting on it back and forth because it's, until the next meeting that we'll review this briefly and then we'll move on to the next.
quick
Yeah.
note on that one is, I can't remember specifically, is it the more like accessible way to say that would be software for people who are blind instead of the blind? I don't remember what the,
Or perhaps visually impaired rather than blind.
That's true. Because we do have, we have keyboards for visually impaired people who are not necessarily blind.
Or
But,
blind
yeah.
and visually impaired, or,
I'll figure out
Yeah.
what the,
because they're
Correct
technically two different
phrases.
type of people. Yeah. But visually impaired covers all, so.
one of my newer full-time staff people took the initiative to write out a whole procedure on how to set up that software and everything for people when they come in and request it. So kudos to Gilbert, he's amazing. All right.
Any other comments on the 5-year plan before we move on?
I'm sorry, goal 4 at the last bullet, increase service desk staff by 2 full-time people. This kind of sounds weird. Either full-time needs to be hyphenated, or also positions, or, I don't know, it just feels like,
Yeah, and I have a hyphen on one line and no hyphen on the next line, so, yeah. I'm admittedly terrible about that. All right. And we will have another chance to, if y'all think of something or see something in the meantime, we'll have another chance to look at this. Okay. I am looking for, I don't think I have it on my stack.
last item is to discuss and consider action on revisions to the student liaison application.
So this is just the one for the student. If you want to include and I like the idea, so, we can look to going forward with that. If you want to add a senior liaison, senior citizen liaison, it does have to go through council. Because it would be changing the ordinance, I think. So, yeah. But this is the student one, so I should have printed it in color because I did make some alterations to it. I added whether or not they were homeschooled.
Are we making comments on this?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and then I did add language on that first question, does any potential conflict, sort of like explaining what a conflict may be. I'm sorry, Holly, go ahead.
No, that's okay. In that paragraph at the top, I don't think student liaisons should have apostrophes
Okay.
in either instance.
Got it.
And then it's, the last one is the term of service will be probably just 1 year rather than 4. And then here, you from carrying, I think, rather than, because it's
I
kind of
gotcha.
a negative sort of.
I have a question. Okay, so it says, do you participate in homeschool groups? Are you asking about library homeschool groups or just homeschool groups in general?
Just in general.
Oh, okay. In that case, never mind.
I could add a question about library homeschool group, because we do have them here.
They should
Would
probably
that give
just,
us any information, like?
yeah. But also
needed?
doesn't it show initiative to have them think outside the box? Do you know what I mean? Like, I kind of want to see if they open up to it. You know what I mean? I don't want to lead them, I don't know. That's just a me thing.
I think we should keep a question in there about, do you participate in homeschool groups?
Oh.
Simply because part of their duty is to communicate back and forth with their peers.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I'm saying leave homeschool, I'm just saying, she was clarifying deep into library homeschool as, you know what I mean? I'm like, no, let them come up with the clarification that they do library also.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's good.
If there's a conflict of interest, I'm just curious, would that exclude them entirely from participating, or?
I think it would depend on what the conflict was. Like if they were a board member's kid or something like that, I think that would be a conflict of interest. But I think that's something that the library board would need to decide on a case-by-case
Because
basis.
we've had that
Yeah, we had that.
recently.
Oh, we did?
Well, not recently,
Well,
But yeah,
within the
like-
last few years.
Yeah.
yeah, in fact, it's,
And
my son
Maddie,
was the
too.
liaison for a while.
Oh, that's right.
And Maddie was on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would need to be on a case-by-case basis, I would think.
The last question, when it says, would you prefer to have summers off from the library board? Yes, no, if yes, explain. Is the explanation gonna do anything for us?
We were discussing that actually last month, I think, about some students may want to take the summer off and others maybe wouldn't. So.
Again,
I
it's
don't
an
know.
opportunity to let them dazzle us or not, you know what I mean? Like, what are they thinking? You know, I'm gonna travel for the summer, or
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in a summer camp, and, you know, I would be curious to hear them say, okay, well, I'm in a summer camp that's half days, and I can't come to the library board for that. I'd be, you know, I wanna know what they're thinking there.
And I think we actually discussed not making them come to the library board during the summer, because I think that for students, personally, I wouldn't have wanted to do that. But that's me. Some kids might dig it, I don't know.
Well, some kids also, they travel, you know, like between parents and
Yeah.
stuff, unfortunately, these days, you know, so summers with a different parent, possibly in a different place, so.
You could phrase it like, do you have any plans for the summer, or do you plan on attending meetings, you know? Because then that would open them up to say what they're gonna do for the summer. Because if I read this, I would just be like, no, because I want to be lazy and I went to school all year. when I was in high school.
Yeah,
that
we
was-
tend to lose them, no, I totally would have been the same. We tend to lose them in the summer, so
Right.
I think maybe it would be good for us to be more flexible on that. But that would be up to you guys.
I'm a meanie. I would want them to offer an idea of what they could do during the summer when they're, you know what I mean, to help for those, what, is it 2 months, maybe 3, as far as the meetings are actually concerned? You know,
Yeah, it's like 3 meetings, so.
What, you know, what do you think that you could do to give us, to be productive or whatever in this particular regard, when there's no library for you to report on, you know?
If the
I mean,
idea is that they're a liaison, there's nobody to report to in the summer.
Right,
So
but
you
I'm just
gotta
saying,
think
like,
about that.
come up with it, but I'm saying they could contribute to the library. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, hey, I really think there's a new thing going around and everybody's really into, like, I don't know, puppies, right? Like, hey, we should bring in some puppy books. Do you know what I'm saying? You don't need to be in school to come to a meeting and say, hey, this is what kids my age are doing. We should have more puppy books.
People are always into puppies.
Right,
Yeah,
but
you
that's
don't
where I'm
have to
coming
write
from,
that.
is that, you know, it's not necessarily like you can only tell us what your librarian said.
Or maybe like if they're with their other parent over this summer, maybe they could say like, oh, this is what this library is doing.
Exactly, right.
Like, here's an idea, I like this.
I think, y'all just made me think of something now. What do you guys think about like having written out clear expectations? Because I think sometimes they come into it, they don't know what they're supposed to do, and we kind of don't either. But maybe we should bring this back definitely next month, but with giving everyone the time to think about, you know, what are we asking from them and what do we expect?
Yeah.
So
And
that
that
we
could
have
be-
measurable goals for them.
That could be like a part of it, like, do you agree to the, you know, expectations on this list or whatever? Why or not?
Expectations and ideas.
Yeah.
There's some positivity in there, you know, but I want them to think for themselves, because their creativity, their youngness, their vibe, that's what I want them to bring,
Yeah,
you
it'd be
know?
good for them to think that way too, because they'll be doing the college essays pretty
Yep.
soon. So, yeah.
You're missing a colon after parent and guardian signature.
Okay. So, you'll need a motion to table this and come back with expectations and ideas.
I had the question about what do you expect from us so that your experience is satisfying. I think the examples work in the previous ones, you know, about what is a conflict, but in this case, like if their expectation is, I would like experience for college application, is that gonna deter them because that's what we wrote in the example? And
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they're not going to college.
But you give alternate ones.
Yeah, I mean, how is this, what is an answer to this that's different than why are you interested in surveying? Or at least with those examples. Like,
So you think that we could just combine those two questions?
yeah, I think.
It is a little redundant.
Like if the answer was, I would like support from the library board or like reminders to attend the meetings or whatever, like if that's what their answer was, then that might be different, but like the examples we have there seem to fit the, why they would be interested to me.
Possibly, I don't know how to wordsmith this, you can help, but we have the experience for college college applications, but some kids are not going that route. Say something like, experience for college applications or references for work applications. We can write that better than what I'm saying, but you get my gist, to
Yeah.
give them. I don't want them to think it's only the college kid route, you
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean, like, maybe you're gonna go, I knew this lovely kid young man, and he went to hair school, cosmetology school, you know, and that worked for him, so.
I know a lot of people who did that, and
Yeah.
they made a lot of money,
Right,
retired very
totally.
early.
It was just interesting because he was a boy. I mean, not, the stereotypes are an awful thing. They usually pull people down other than lift them up. But it was just really nice that he just followed his dream, did his thing.
Do we need to have a motion to table it, or?
Yeah, a motion to table it and come back with, clear expectations and goals.
Should we email those to you?
You can, yes.
All right, I motion to table this until the next meeting to come up with more ideas for, what exactly, how are we wording it?
Expectations and ideas.
Expectations and ideas.
I second it. Okay, tabled for next week. Any other questions? Okay, then I call this meeting adjourned at, what is that, 6:41?
Okay? No.